Hello everybody, this is NC4XL, North Carolina Park Stream Lovers. And I'm not, just Tom, darling old man. Doing a little bit of watching some of the posts on Facebook because it's a great place to get some information and learn and stuff. One of the things that I seen a lot of people are getting ready to do their first activations. And so this is going to be for you folks. And this is a shortcut or a secret that's pretty well known, but people forget about it. So I'll share it with you. And if you can use it, share it with somebody else, especially if you're going to go together and both of you activate a park for the first time. But the first thing that we want to look at is this. When you're activating a park, the pileups come in there, you're scared, you're sweaty palms, you may want to do it on paper, you may want to do it on a logging device. You can get some practice beforehand, okay? Here's how. First of all, don't spot yourself. Practice at home getting your antenna up, getting your antenna down, whether it be with a fishing pole or arbor of some type, or the Wolf River coil, or the other types of antennas. Practice getting the antenna up and down. Now, when you want to go out and hunt, I don't want you to go out and activate. You'll want to, but that's okay. Here's a quick way to learn what to expect, sort of. Set your antenna system up. Get on the spotting page and take you a piece of paper. This is a suggestion at first, okay? Take you the spotting page. Write down the call, write down the frequency, write down the park number, period. Write it down on paper. As you're going down, I set mine by frequency and I work downwards. But you haven't spotted yourself. Did you hear that? You have not said, hey, I'm here, and you're telling the world and going to get clobbered. What you do is, since you're in that park, okay, since you're in that park, make park-to-park contacts and give them the park that you're at. Now, an activation consists of 10 contacts. You're going to make nothing but park-to-park contacts. You're not going to go out on a limb and spot yourself and get clobbered and frustrated because, oh my gosh, I can't copy all that. But you're going to do it different. You're going to scan for the other parks that are being activated. It's a lengthy time, but if you're learning how, it's a good lesson to help you. Go to the different bands where they're at, get on the frequency, and try to listen how the activator operates, and tail end it, if you'll use that term loosely. When the last person that you're hearing ends, try to get your call sign in there. Being first is not always a good thing. And if anybody works me, first is last, last is first. If you watch how I operate, that's me, myself, and I'll take a list on paper. I do it that way. But then I'll go back and tell them the station with such and such in their call, or the Kilo Oscar 3, and that person will come in. I write down what they got. I give them a signal report. They give me a signal report. We're good to go. Remember, all you need is 10 contacts. If you land somebody that's in 4 parks and a couple other park-to-parks, you can make 5 or 6 contacts, and guess what? You're done. You've got the park activated. There's not a race on how fast you get done. There is not a race on how many contacts you get. I like lots of contacts, but there's no race. It's a self-inflicted wound for me. But if you go out and you'll just work park to parks only, when you're through, then you upload that log. And there's many of us around that'll help you. I'm not familiar with hammers. I use N3FJP. I could share secrets on how to do that if you wished it. I have a video that Parks on the Air produced. It's on my page. If you want to watch how I log on paper, I have a video there that shows what I do. But you, being brand new, may want to just work 12, 15 parks. I didn't say 10. Always allow yourself a mistake or a fat finger or whatever you want to call it. It's going to happen. Now, let's say you get out there and it's a rough day. Your computer goes down, and I don't use a computer. Your battery dies, and I carry two. And you only get 8 contacts. Those people that are activators out there that you made the contact with, they still deserve to get the recognition of it on a park to park. Even if your park was not fully activated, there is no failed activation. It's an incomplete activation. Very simple. Please don't ever use that word failure. You're not a failure. What we're doing is we're enjoying our hobby. We're practicing our emergency communication, utilizing compromised antennas with battery source power. Okay? So don't ever feel that. Feel proud about making the contacts with the people, whether you're QRP, whether you're like me, 100 watts or thereabouts, whether you're on a vertical antenna, a ham stick. I run ham stick today. Why? Because of time, because of where I was at. I was still working and I had an hour and a half to kill, and I killed it having fun on Support Your Park. That's a little secret way. You can go out and teach yourself a little bit of that activity. I'll repeat it again. It's not how many contacts you get. You're not in a race, but with yourself. Okay? The requirement is for 10. Always practice to getting at least 12 contacts if you can. And sometimes when you'll sit there and you got 8 contacts and you all of a sudden get a 3 for somebody that's in 3 parks and they got 2 operators and the numbers change. Now, if you're in a twofer, 2 different parks that you verified is a twofer, you have to do 2 separate logs. If you create the first log, you can always duplicate it and do a bulk edit and change the original park number to the second park number. And again, look at the format, how Parks on the Air wants that set up. Get with somebody locally if you have. I'll help in this area. But the thing is, you can actually start activating without being an activator sitting behind a pile up until you're ready for it. You don't have to be afraid of it. You can get outside. You can take half hour, 20 minutes, whatever your setup time is for your particular antenna, or drive up to the park, or use a jackknife pole. Those are things that nobody else is going to do. I'm not going to set it up and have you come and operate and me sit back and do nothing. No, you're going to sit down with me and we're going to work and have fun. And that's how I do it. But I'm just the darling old man. So there's your shortcut. There's a way of practicing. Go out and work those activators that are out in the parks. Practice setting up your antenna. Practice taking down your antenna. Practice logging on paper. You don't have to start on a device. Some people say do that. That's fine. You do whatever you want. Again, I suggest starting on paper because you can always scratch and scribble there. You can't do it on a device, and then the frustration level sets up. You don't need that. Go have fun. I hope this little tidbit will help. And if not, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody. But if it does, please share it with somebody. Tell somebody about it. Especially if you got some other people where you're at in your club and they want to go out together. Both of you go out. You hand the mic from one person to the other. Both parties have to do it. Okay, now there are exceptions. There's always an exception in life, but if you're brand new, that's what I would suggest. Not that you asked, but you did stop to take a look at the video. North Carolina for extreme lovers. And I'm not. I'm just Dom, the darling old man. And I started back in 1978. I got a couple days of experience behind me, and I enjoy amateur radio. It has grown in such positive ways with Parks on the Air. May God bless.